I just bought Deep Economy by Bill McKibben, and that looks like a really interesting book. It's discussing the difference between more and better, basically, and saying that better is going to be less pretty soon here, and more local, obviously. And I totally think that's right. I mean, everything. As an herbalist, I think that, we have everything we need right here. There's people get stuck on exotic herbs and whatever, and, I think you find, it's a pretty complete, medicine chest wherever you are. And I don't know, I think that follows through to everything.
So, the book you're reading is about economy?
Yeah, I just started it. First few pages. But yeah, it's trying to structure economy into a sustainable thing. It's obviously unsustainable now, just by definition. It, demands ever-increasing returns and what all, right? That's just impossible.
So you're saying the economy needs to change its system in order to become sustainable, even as an economy?
Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, what we have now, the form of capitalism we have now, is, I think, by its very nature, unsustainable, and the way it's set up, it allows, terrible things to be justified by profits, you know what I mean? Like the oil spill in the Gulf of Mexico right now, it was totally foreseeable. That's a natural consequence of deep sea oil drilling, Accidents are bound to happen, but it's profitable, right? DDT was profitable, right?
Yep.
And
So if there's one thing that, let's just fantasize that you would be able to wave a magic wand and say from here on, this thing in the economy is going to be different. If you could just wave a magic wand and change it, what would you change?
Wow. Just the profit motive as the deciding motive of the economy. It's it doesn't take into account the true costs or anything like that. Our air is invaluable, clean water is invaluable, and
untapped resources.
Right.
Yeah.
And just the word resources, even kind of it's kind of assumes that they're there to be used, you know what I mean? By us. Right. So yeah, I would get rid of the profit motive. Just that. Yeah.
Great. Great. How do we change a for-profit or growth economy into what I'm kind of perceiving, and I've had my own thoughts on this, and it's kind of been reflected here with the questions I've been asking. How do we change a for-profit expansion economy into one that is actually a viable, vibrant economy based on maintenance?
Right. Wow, I don't know. That's the question, isn't it? You could start within the system, by making incentives to do sustainable stuff, or penalties for unsustainable stuff, right? Measuring the true cost of burning oil, on everything, from extraction, from the environmental impacts of oil spills to the air pollution to what all, and I think we would find it's pretty readily unaffordable,
So in other words, bring more things into the balance sheet.
Exactly, exactly, that make the balance sheet actually reflective, of reality.
So would it be like there are other values or other net or gross worth, you could assign that to certain things that are just standing or left alone?
I got distracted in there, sorry.
Okay. So I guess what you're kind of getting at is, see if I'm right in this, is that you and I are talking about maybe seeing a unlogged forest as something that shows as a plus on the spreadsheet rather than a minus.
Absolutely, right.
Okay.
Like you've heard the quote, those trees have no value until they're logged, and that's absolutely wrong-headed, as far as I'm concerned. And their value isn't just as a carbon sink or as a you know, and because it attracts tourism or whatever, their value is just intrinsic, you know, as part of an ecosystem and part of our world.
Could you see this change coming about by something other than just ideology, and possibly some kind of rubric or method that would be purely scientific to actually make the spreadsheets reflect certain things that they are not doing so now?
Sure, I think so. I mean, I think, you know, ideology is not the way to make for lasting changes, right? I mean, and once you get wrapped up in that, you know, it's a slippery slope, I suppose. So yeah, I think I mean, I think facts support, you know, an actual sustainable economy, and science supports that.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you.
Thank you. Nice.
He's going to get your name.